Welcome back to the Dr. Des Show. I'm Dr. Des, and today we are going to be talking all about how to really stand out in a tough public health job market. All right, y'all, it's crazy out there in public health right now, and just honestly, in so many different industries, it's not just us that are going through this, but it's the job market is just wild right now, and we're not going to dive into the details of why, because we know why, but it's crazy out there, and I want to make sure with this episode, I give you all strategies and tools to really prepare to stand out. Because if you've been applying to 100 jobs a day and you haven't been hearing anything back, then honestly, it may not be you. It may just be this job market and how it is. So number one, I want you to stay encouraged. Before we dive into anything, I want you to know that, hey, you will find a role. You just have to keep going. Don't give up. Be resilient. I know it's easier said than done, but keep going, okay? You can do this. You got this, all right? If you needed this pep talk, this is Dr. Des. This is me. Think of me as like your sister, whatever, telling you, hey, you got this. You can do this. God has brought you so far. He did not bring you this far to leave you, okay? So I ain't mean to preach a little bit, but I had to let y'all know that. But before we even really get started, I know we got started, but before we get started, make sure if you have not subscribed to this podcast, please subscribe to this podcast. Please leave us some comments, leave us feedback, especially rate us. If you're on Apple, make sure that you rate this podcast, leave us a review, because that's how other people find the podcast. That's how I know, all right, I can keep doing the podcast because people are liking it. People are subscribing and listening and letting me know. And also let me know, of course, what kind of topics you want me to cover. Let me know. And if you're watching the video portion on YouTube, hey friends, make sure that you subscribe and leave me a comment, okay? So now, the job market, y'all. It's crazy out here. We had an episode not too long ago about resumes and resume strategy. Number one, if you know your resume is great, recruiters have said it's great. You've gotten it professionally looked over. I've looked it over in the public health club. Hey, my resume is good. It is not you, okay? It is not you. It is not your resume. It is just job market. This job market is crazy. However, there are a lot of different things that you can do to stand out in this job market and to make sure that you are attracting opportunities to you, not just you going out and just applying for a job and hoping for the best, okay? We want to think about strategy, right? When you are in a job, you're doing your job, whether it's a health department, whether you're at CDC, whether you're at wherever, they have strategic plans, right? They are thinking strategically how to approach everything that they do, whether you're a nonprofit or whatever, you're at a nonprofit, whatever, they all have strategic plans. Why? Because they work. Now, why don't you have a strategic plan for how you are going to approach this job market? If you don't, then hey, that is what we are here today for. So listen, I want you to get out pen, paper, whatever you may be. If you're driving, make sure you're taking some middle notes and make sure you come back, replay it, take some notes, okay? Number one thing I want to talk about, and this is the thing I talk about all the time, so you may already know, if you do not have a digital portfolio, get one. Inside the Public Health Club right now, we have a digital portfolio workshop to teach you how to build a digital portfolio. All right. Shows you examples, how to do it, how to do a very no cost digital portfolio. If you ain't got no money to spend, how to make one as a PDF document, right? You do not have to have a fancy website to make it a digital portfolio, whatever. But some things I want you to know, a digital portfolio is not an overview of your resume. That is what it is not. And if you go in there and you're just going to give them, the highlight reels from your resume, that's great. When we know you have amazing experience because they can see your resume. But why is this different? Why does this stand out? A portfolio should be samples of your work to actually showcase your abilities, your skills, whatever that you've done, right? What does that look like in public health, Dr. Des? Well, it depends on what area you're in. You know that we are everywhere, right, in public health. So if you are in the data side, right, maybe it's a data table that you worked on. Maybe it's a dashboard you've done. Maybe it's a graph that you've done for an organization. Maybe it's something like that you've actually done. Maybe that is what you show a sample of, right? Or if you are in roles like me, I was in program management, right? I'm showcasing like an overview of this particular program. I may put in some slides that I did where I presented to at a conference or whatever. I may put in the actual poster board for the conference that I presented at to showcase this program, right? I may put in what were some measures, some KPIs, what were the results of this? Like I may highlight that and make it all graphic-y and pretty, right? And showcase like, hey, I led this and here's what happened and here's what it is. So I can directly show impact. That is the thing with a digital portfolio. You want to be able to immediately look at this portfolio and see an impact, okay? That is the goal. And I know I always get the question, Dr. Des, what if I can't share the stuff that I did at work? Like, what if that's like proprietary information? I signed an NDA. That's fine. Recreate something, okay? Recreate something that is all yours. There are so many open data sets that are out there that you can go and pull some data from and just do, whether it's a GIS map or a little data table or whatever to showcase your experience. And because you are so experienced, it's not going to take you long to do. There are so many things that you can just do. There are not many rules when it comes to this digital portfolio. The main rule I have for you is that it has to show impact. Also, it has to be organized. That's another rule. Don't just give me a whole bunch of stuff and not number your pages, not make it make sense, right? Do not have a 300-page portfolio because ain't nobody going to read that, all right? You can make it concise as you want to. So, an example, now for the job search, when I landed my last job that I left, that I actually really liked that job, y'all. I was a health equity manager for a health plan, and I really loved that job. However, like I knew that the entrepreneurship thing was kicking off, and I loved it even more than I loved that job, so I had to go. But I landed that job. They loved my digital portfolio. I had a portfolio that was solely focused on my health equity work. So granted, we do so much work in public health. The thing I want you to think about is that you do not have to showcase everything. Be specific for the type of job you are targeting. I know you've heard the rule about resumes of be specific with your resume. Don't just say, hey, because here's the thing, your epidemiology resume is not going to get you a job as a program manager and vice versa. So you got to make sure that your resume is speaking to the actual roles that you're applying for. So every time you apply, you don't really need to change much in your resume, maybe a few tweaks here and there, but you shouldn't be changing your whole resume every time you apply for a role. Why? Because you're not just applying to this role, that role, this role, that role, whatever that works. You're applying specifically and strategically to a role. Same with your portfolio. Your portfolio should be strategic and specific. It's not just a compilation of everything that you do. It is specific. When I had, and now, I'm not applying to jobs now, but when I go to get consulting clients, like I have my last consulting client that I got that I'm working with now, they asked for samples of my work. So what did I do? I went to my portfolio and I pulled out 3 specific examples that I knew were really aligned with what they wanted. And I gave them that, right? I put that up in a nice little, wrapped it up in a nice little bow, put it up in a nice little portfolio. And that is what I gave them. Samples of things that I've done, overviews, like some kind of like a case study somewhat, right? It doesn't have to be a whole lot of narrative. It can be some graphics in there. It could be some slides in there. It could be whatever in there. But that is the thing, like, guys, that will make you stand out. And then I always get the question too, how do I use this digital portfolio? Well, number one, when they ask for, hey, anything else you'd like to give us? They ask for like any additional documents you'd like to upload additional to your resume. Don't just say no, upload that digital portfolio. Upload the digital portfolio, guys. That is where you put that there, okay? That is where you put it in, okay? And if your digital portfolio is too big to upload as a file, put it as a Google Doc, okay? Do it as a Google Doc and share the link, all right? And then also, once you get in an interview, this is what I would always do, and they loved it, y'all. They loved it. All you need to do when you get in the interview, send it to the hiring manager, whoever is on your interview panel. Send it to them either the day of. I usually did the day of, like maybe that morning of. Maybe my interview is in the afternoon, so I may send it to them that morning. Or if it's an in-person interview, I may print it out, take copies for everyone to have, and then reference it as you're going through your answers for things. Don't just give it to them and think they're going to look at it. They probably ain't going to look at it. But if you're on an interview and they ask you about your experience doing X, Y, and Z, and you say, yeah, if you turn to page 6 in my portfolio, you'll see that I did da 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 da, and then you go into that explanation. And now they have a visual. They have a visual to show that they can see that. Not many people are doing that. You need to do it, especially if you want the job in this economy, okay? So now, like I said, in the Public Health Club, there's an entire workshop right now that you can take on digital portfolio development. Go ahead inside the club, join the club, and take it. All right. The club is free for 7 days, so you can literally take that for free right now. Just saying. But do it, implement the strategies, and go. The next way that you're going to stand out is by making content. And I know y'all like, Dr. Des, I ain't no content creator. I am not about to get on here and just start like making dancing reels and TikToks. Ain't nobody tell you to do that, first of all. But, the thing that you want to make sure that you are doing is establishing yourself as a thought leader, okay? Because you have to stand out. Number one, I get recruiters in my DMs all the time. I ain't looking for no job right now, but there are recruiters out there and they are recruiting for jobs. And they want people who are showcasing thought leadership. And they are looking for people like you, but you are hiding yourself and you are not out there. You are saying, I'm just going to submit this job application the old way and I'm just going to see what happens. And granted, that may work for a lot of people. That still does work. But right now, you got to think outside of the box. And that is what I want for y'all, to really think outside of the box. Now, what does content development and thought leadership look like? Platform of choice, I would recommend you to do LinkedIn, right? I recommend you to go on LinkedIn. You don't got to make videos if you don't want to. Videos are a great thing, but you don't have to make them if you don't want to. What I would suggest that you do is start posting thought leadership content. Start talking about things that you did in your previous roles. Everything you developed in your digital portfolio, start talking about it. Start linking to examples of things that you did. If the stuff that you did is out there in the public and out there, I developed a program, even though my name's not on it, the organization name is on it. I'm just reminiscing about the time that I helped 200 people get free blood pressure checks at such and such community hospital, and 10 people went on to get on medication for their blood pressure, and it was so bad that they were about to have a stroke. Listen, I don't know the stories, but I'm just saying, you could think about those things that you did and you actually implemented and go and tell the stories on LinkedIn. People love it. They love to say, oh my God, that's amazing. And then you know what else happened? What was your strategy? How did you do that? And I mean, if you want to go into that consultant route, say, hey, yeah, you can book a consultation with me. I can show you how I did it. But if you're just trying to find a job, but that looks great to recruiters too, because you know what happens? They're gonna be searching for things like this, right? They're going to be searching for program development. They're going to be searching for those keywords, and they're going to try to find people who fit that. And if they find posts of people who are making posts about this, who are establishing themselves as a thought leader, that's going to go really far. And they may slide in your DMs and say, hey, we have this opportunity. Would you be interested? It happens a lot, okay? But you have to make sure that you're establishing yourself as a thought leader. Also, I want you to make sure that you are building out your LinkedIn profile. Now, listen, I love that you love selfies, okay? I love it. But LinkedIn, no. No, my friend, get a professional headshot. And nowadays, we have things like Gemini and ChatGPT to make whatever photo we got look like a headshot. Make sure it looks like you, but it can look like a headshot or whatever. I'll go get a professional headshot. I'm old school. I love the professional headshots. I love to get my makeup done, hair done, and go and get somebody to photograph me and get a headshot. But if you don't have the money for that, the time for that, whatever, use AI and make a professional one, okay? Like, there are so many options out there for you to do that, but do it because it comes off professional, okay? We want to come off professional. Like that grainy picture where we can't even really see you and we don't even know if that's you or not. No. Do better, my friend. We got to do better now. We almost in 2026. We got to do better, okay? And I want you to make sure that, like, you are thinking about these things, but also think about the keywords that are in your bio, that are in your headline. Your headline is amazing real estate for recruiters. All right. Like if you go on my LinkedIn, like go to my LinkedIn, type in Desiree Strickland, Dr. Desiree Strickland. You should be able to find me. I'm there. And go look at my bio, my headline bio, right? I want you to look at that and I want you to think about like, okay, how am I really utilizing this space? Like, what is my goal? Because some things that I got in the bio are 3-time award-winning public health entrepreneur. My thing right now, I'm not trying to get jobs. I am working on consulting opportunities, speaking opportunities, all these other things, right? Partnerships, collaborations. So, of course, I'm going to talk about my accolades, right? But if you are looking for a job, I want to make it clear that I am a senior level public health evaluator, right? Like, I want to make it very clear on exactly what I do. I'm a health equity strategist, Like, utilize that space and utilize those keywords. Utilize it in your bio. Update your LinkedIn, guys, and get on there. As much as you get on TikTok, as much as you get on Instagram, get on LinkedIn, okay? Do it. Especially if you are in this job market right now. do it. All right. And start posting on there, start reaching out, start liking things, start engaging. And we also have a LinkedIn brand guide. So this episode is actually airing before Black Friday starts. So I just want to give y'all a heads up that for Black Friday, we will be doing some deals on our LinkedIn brand guide, as well as 30 days free inside the Public Health Club. Just so you know. Just so you know. This is only for new members though. So if you've been an old member and you left and you're trying to come back, for the 30 days free, you don't get that. But the LinkedIn brand guide discount, it will be in our public health power bundle that is released on that Thursday of Black Friday week. Hey, go ahead now. Listen, it's going to be there. I'm just letting you know. However, if you're like, I need to get started right now. Go ahead. I'm going to drop the link below so you can go ahead and grab that brand guide right now and get started, because within that, I tell you what types of content to post, how often to post, what should your profile look like, how do you really build that out, how do you attract recruiters, how do you do all of those things. Everything is in that LinkedIn guide, okay? So I'm going to drop the link below in case you want to check it out. I'm also drop the Black Friday link in there in case you want to check that out too. But now, we talked about 2 strategies, digital portfolio. We talked about doing content on LinkedIn. Those are 2 powerful strategies that can 100% help you in this time land a job. The third and final strategy I'm going to talk about is networking. And I know y'all be like, "That it is." I know. I need to talk to people. But I'm not just talking about just talking to people. I'm talking about actually building relationships and connections with people. Because how often are we doing that? How often are we actually saying like, okay, I'm going to go into this conference or whatever. And I think at the time that this airs, I think APHA will have already happened. But all of those people you met at APHA, or you met at Sophie, or you met at whatever conferences, have you followed up with them? What's going on with that? What has happened from that, right? What has came from that, right? What was your goal in even going in there to meet with them, to talk with them, right? Are you trying to get a job? Are you trying to get a consulting contract? Like, what's that goal? I really want you to think about that, because that is one of the things that is so important. That is one of the things that you need to have a strategy. Whenever you go to a networking event, what is your strategy? What is your end goal? What is your outcome going to be like, right? Are you going to have a goal of, let's say, I want to go in here and I want to make 6 new connections that could potentially get me into jobs. And that means that you have to think about quality versus quantity of people you talk to. So be strategic about who you are talking to. If you talk to 12 people, but only 3 of them could actually get you in jobs, then you got 3 more to find. All right. Don't just say, all right, I talked to 6 people, I'm done. No. Who can actually get you into those roles? How are you building those relationships? And I'm not just talking about a relationship of, this is what the old method of what people did. When people were looking for jobs, they literally, if a hiring manager is posting a job, now you're messaging that hiring manager. We have jobs now where thousands of people are applying to one role. And let's say half of that, over 500 people are messaging that same hiring manager. You think they're going to respond back? You think they got time to respond back? No. But if they don't have any job openings or anything going on, they probably, their inbox is dry. Perfect time to go in there and try to form relationships. Okay. So let's think about, how are we building those relationships? Get on LinkedIn. If you say, Dr. Des, I can't afford to go to one of them expensive conferences right now, that's fine. Get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is free. Start messaging these people, and don't just come to me and say, Dr. Des, I've been doing it, nobody's reaching out. Like, number one, are you just messaging people when they have job openings? Number one, because they know you want something from them. Number 2, are you actually, like, what are you actually messaging them for? Are you asking to pick their brain? Are you asking to like, hey, can you give me a job? Like, I've had people really get in my DMs and say, hey, here's my resume. Can you get me a job? No, I don't know you. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm gonna put my name on the line for somebody I don't know, never met before a day in my life. Like, can I get a, hey, how you doing? Like, what, like, you got to think about those things. Like, at the end of the day, these are people, right? So number one, people people love to talk about themselves. Ask them, hey, I would really love to learn how you got into this position, how you got to where you are. That's one method. Some people still may not reply, and that's fine, right? Everybody's not always on LinkedIn all the time, so they may not even see your message. And that's fine. Give them some time. Maybe they'll reply. Maybe they won't. It's okay. That's why we message a lot of other people, right? We ain't just putting all our eggs in one basket. We're talking to all these other people, okay? And we're also thinking about, all right, who could probably even get me to this person, right? Who do I know that's connected? Another secret is going to your alumni, right? Alumni love to reach back out and talk to other alumni. So I went to FAMU for a grad school, right? I know that if I reached out to anybody else and I go on LinkedIn, it will show me other people who work at a particular company who went to my school. If I message them, I know probably it's like an 80% chance, 90% chance they're going to write me back. When I say, hey, I seen that you went to FAMU. I went there between da-da-da-da. I was wondering if you could like tell me a little bit more about X, Y, and Z organization. I'm thinking about applying for a role there, but I'm not sure. Can you tell me a little bit more about it and how you got into your position? I'm just interested to hear about it. Or I've even done it to a situation where I got an interview for a role and I reached out to somebody that worked there and I was able to talk to them about their experience in working there. They gave me the real deal. I still took the job and everything that they said was true, but I wanted the job because I wanted to move to Atlanta at the time. So I took the job still. But she's still a really good colleague to this day. I was able to have her as a colleague, right? So, just think about how are you approaching these things, right? How are you approaching these strategies, right? Those are 3 strategies that to get you more visibility, because that is so many times what public health professionals are missing, visibility in this field, right? Start thinking of like someone who wants to think outside the box, who wants to go above and beyond to really land a role that otherwise they wouldn't have gotten, right? You got to start thinking like that. But the Public Health Club is open. If you want to join right now, I highly recommend that you join right now. Like, it's some amazing, it's over 700 professionals inside the club waiting for you to come in, to share, to just be a part of the community. There are workshops that you could take to help elevate your career right now. There's that digital portfolio workshop. There's a resume development workshop. There's so many workshops about non-traditional pathways and careers in public health. Join, take the workshops, and let's go, y'all. It is time. Like, let's say 2026 is almost here. If you don't want to be stuck in that same position that you were in next year, this time around, if you want to look back and say, man, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I elevated. I'm so glad I stepped out of my comfort zone, because a lot of us are not even comfortable talking about ourselves and getting out there like that and putting ourselves out there. But we got to do it, y'all. You can do it, okay? But all right. Hope you join the club. Hope you check out our Black Friday deals, because it's coming up. It's not here yet, but it's coming up. But all right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.